Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Dennis Grabowskis. This is my lovely wife, Debbie, and we're sitting here in India. And the reason is that I had spinal surgery. And how it all came about was I had extreme pain in both legs, and it was a nerve problem in my spine. And I realized that it was more important to find the right doctor, number one. The location of the surgery was not that important. It was important, but not that important. But the doctor. And I contacted We Care India. They're part of We Care Health Services. And what they did for me is they introduced me to Dr. Kulkarni, who ultimately did my surgery. And he was wonderful for a couple of reasons. Number one is that all the doctors that I've talked to previously, I talked to doctors in Mexico, Costa Rica, Malaysia, Spain, Germany, and they all recommended bone fusion for my spine. And so I investigated exactly bone fusion, what it entails, and I didn't really care for that treatment. So I investigated alternatives to bone fusion and came up with where there's, instead of the rigid rod that they put in your spine, there are flexible rods out there, and that allows mobility, so you're not, you're not stiff and so forth. And Dr. Kulkarni really was the only doctor that I was able to converse with back and forth. I gave him some of my ideas or what I was looking for, or actually what I found on the internet. I asked him about it, and he always answered me promptly and would say, this procedure isn't right for you, this so forth. So ultimately he came up with a particular flexible rod, and it's been a week now since I've had the surgery. No pain in my legs, besides the pain from, the actual surgery. It's great. I started walking the day after surgery, and that was wonderful. And people asked me if I would do it again, and yes. Here in India, the service, the knowledge of the doctors is wonderful. And a lot of people ask me why I went to India. Well, this type of procedure is not available in the U.S. And I was very adamant about not getting bone fusion. And the doctors I talked to in the United States all suggested bone fusion. And they really don't have the expertise or experience in any type of alternative to bone fusion. And besides the surgery, We Care Health Services put up my wife in a beautiful hotel. Beautiful. And I'll let her tell you her experience at the hotel and how it was.
First of all, I would like to say that knowing that Dennis was going to be flying from the USA to India without me was a little scary. And we spoke with Mr. Kaushik, who gave us, let me feel in my heart that Dennis was going to be taken care of. And Dilip, who was basically Dennis's aide the whole time, picked him up at the airport, took him to the hospital, and basically stood by his side.
Stayed with me.
Yep, was one of our guardian angels for Dennis.
My translator.
Yes, yes, and I appreciated that, being in the States still, knowing that Dennis was here. And then when Dennis was going in for surgery, he called me, and Mr. Kaushik had his phone, and the moment he was done with surgery, he called me right away to let me know that Dennis was doing fine. And that gave me a very good sense of peace, and I needed that peace, especially being so far away from Dennis. And so my travels to India was good, because I was looking forward to seeing Dennis and exploring India. So Dilip met me at the airport with a big old sign with Debbie Kubauskas. I had no idea what I was walking into, coming into India, and I have enjoyed every moment of being in India. Dilip has been my personal guide while Dennis has been in the hospital. This hotel that we are at, the Marine Hotel, their people have been outstanding. The food, the accommodation is wonderful. And if we could come back here, we would absolutely come back here. It's been a wonderful...
Without the surgery.
Yeah, without surgery. It's been a wonderful experience for the both
I'll
of us.
enjoy it a little bit better.
Yeah, the food has been great, too.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
I just, lastly, I just want to thank God, really, for We Care Health Services. Mr. Kashik was wonderful. He's the individual, the chief operating officer of We Care, and he was the initial person that contacted me, and he was my middleman between me and Dr. Kulkarni and so forth. And of course, I had 1,000 questions before we left, and everything. Anything like this here, you have to trust, because you're so far away. You're in a country, at least in our case, we've never been before. I didn't meet the doctor until a day before surgery, and the trust. I totally trusted We Care Health Services, Dr. Kulkarni. And if you have that trust, everything else just falls into place, because you know they're doing the right thing for you. And if anything ever happens in the future that I need surgery, they'll be the ones.
Was the one who was at Dennis's side after surgery, kind of calling his name, and we got to
I
meet
don't
him after
remember him.
surgery. And it's not often that you see the big guy at surgery, so we appreciate him as well. So thank you.
And my heart goes out to Dilip. Wonderful. Especially my wife Debbie was not able to fly out until 2 days after surgery, so I was alone for about 5 days. And Dilip, wonderful. Debbie referred to him as an aide, and he doesn't like when we call him a guardian angel,
Yeah.
but too bad.
Too bad. Yeah.
You were a guardian angel. Debbie and I believe that Dilip was sent to us by God to watch over, and that's what he did. That is absolutely what he did, and wonderful. So God bless Dilip also. So ending.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be dancing soon.
Yes. We were even interviewed by a local reporter because the surgery that I had was so unique. They wanted to write about it, and they asked me what was going to be the first thing that I would do when I got home, and I answered, dance with my wife.
Yes.